Hey everyone, thanks for watching an episode of Good Advice by Good Monster. I'm your host, John Timmerman. This show used to be called Grand Advice, but we changed the name to Good Advice because that just sounds better, right? Good Advice by Good Monster. But this show, we talk about marketing and sales and business development strategies so that you can grow your business more effectively, more efficiently, to become remarkable. Today, we're going to talk about influencers. Specifically, we're going to talk about nano influencers versus micro influencers. What is the difference between the two, and how can you leverage them for your business? Before I dive in, let's back up. Influencers. What does that mean? So, celebrities have been used forever, for decades, right, to help promote a brand. Celebrity endorsements, athlete endorsements. They're essentially influencers, right? But they're huge. These are multi-million-dollar earning actors or actresses or models or athletes. These are huge top-level celebrity influencers, right? Well, with the growth of social media, that has given the opportunity for the everyday person to become an influencer. Now, these new modern-day celebrity influencers, they have millions of followers for whatever it is they do. Maybe they're funny, maybe they're fit, maybe they are super knowledgeable about tech. I don't know. They have whatever their specialty is, that's the reason people love them and follow them. These are celebrity influencers. Today we're going to be talking about micro and nano influencers. Micro influencers have a smaller following than major celebrity influencers, usually between 50,000 and we'll say 200,000 followers. Their intention most often is to make this a full-time job. They are investing a lot of time into growing their following and their engagement, and they're trying to make this their full-time job, which means brands are paying them to post about and promote their products. Those are micro influencers. Maybe it's not quite their full-time job yet, but that's generally their intention. Nano influencers, that's like me, that's like you. Those are everyday people that are just interesting. They have people following them for a lot of the same reasons. Maybe they're a gamer, maybe they're tech, maybe they're into sports, maybe they're into fitness, but it's not their full-time job. They're a nurse, they're a teacher, they're an executive, they're doing they have another full-time job. This is sort of just a hobby. These are your everyday people that are constantly sharing on social media. Nano influencers, right? So micro influencers are a little bit larger. This is really like their full-time thing, or they're trying to make it their full-time thing. They have a larger following, they have more engagement. Nano influencers are smaller. This isn't their full-time gig, but they do have a good following and some good reach, right? So what does this mean for your business? I'm gonna talk about two different kinds of businesses. One would be a consumer packaged good, a product, you're selling things online. It's an e-commerce product-driven business. And the other one is your everyday, maybe local business, or even a B2B company, a business that works with other businesses. Those are their clients, right? So let's start with the first one because it's easier. With an e-commerce business or a product-driven business, you're looking at micro-influencers and nano-influencers. Those are two separate groups of people, and you should have two separate plans for them. The reason micro influencers can be highly beneficial for your brand is that they have a larger reach right off the bat. So if you can get them to do a campaign about your product, it's going to reach more people, and if you pick the right ones that have a good amount of engagement, it's going to engage more people with just one or two or three posts. The downside is you're going to have to pay for them. You're going to have to pay them $200 or $300 or $400 per post because they can get it. They know their value, they know their reach. So if you start working with 2 or 3 influencers who are posting 2 or 3 times each, do the math, multiply that times 200, you're going to pay a few $1,000s for that. But you're also probably going to get that in return a lot quicker. You're going to get sales through that if they're doing a good job, and you're going to get a ton of reach. With nano influencers, there's value, but it's different. They are not going to charge you, most likely. They're just going to want a free product because that's not their full-time job. They want free products, they want to believe in the brand, they want to help out and participate, and they want good content to put on social media. So they'll do it probably for just a product exchange. So that part is good, low cost of entry. The difference is you're not going to reach as many people because they don't have 200,000 followers. They might only have 2,000. They might only have 800. They might only have, 5,000 followers, right? So with nano influencers, we're generally talking about 5,000 followers or under. Again, that's not a strict number, but that's generally what we're looking at, right? So low cost of entry, but you're not going to reach as many people. So with micro influencers, you might only need 1, 2, 3 of them to really start to get the ball rolling. With nano influencers, you're probably going to need 5, 10, 15, 20 of them to really get the same reach. The same principles apply for a small local business or a B2B company, right? We'll start with a small local business. If you're selling pool supplies, and you only have 2 locations or you only have 1 location, micro influencers versus nano influencers. One, it might be harder to find a micro influencer in your area that can actually physically go into your store, or you can create content with as they're diving into a pool. So for instance, we're here in Syracuse, New York. We're not going to have as many micro influencers as New York City. So if you own a business in Syracuse, New York, or Tulsa, Oklahoma, or wherever it might be that's not a major market area, you might have a harder time finding a micro influencer, somebody with 200,000 followers. But you're much more likely to find a nano influencer. That's your everyday person who has an Instagram or a Facebook with a good amount of people, especially locally, following them. Those are going to be your bread and butter. Simply get on Instagram, find anybody who's posting a picture in a bikini or a swimsuit or about a backyard barbecue or anything, and say, hey, you want to come shoot some cool footage with us at our pool? We're having a pool party. It's going to be all the local, nano influencers. We're going to barbecue. You can swim, and we're just going to film and take pictures and all of that kind of stuff. You're probably going to get a lot of people, especially if you get some local restaurants to provide the food or food trucks. You're probably going to get a lot of people who have 2,000 followers that are going to want to be a part of that, right? If you're a B2B company, this changes a little bit, because unless you're finding micro influencers that are specific to the business space, which you can totally find, it's going to be harder, because your everyday person who's into fitness or tech or consumer type products, they're not going to really have an audience that matters to a B2B company. So if you're selling telecom solutions, using influencers, micro influencers to sell your telecom probably won't make sense unless you find a micro influencer that, aligns maybe in the gaming space or their tech. That might be the one place you can go, is to bring in an influencer who talks about tech, talks about laptops and smartphones and cool gadgets and things like that, if it aligns with your business. Nano influencers, that would actually work a little bit better, because if you can go on LinkedIn and you can find people that would want to try your service for free in exchange for posting about it, that would actually work relatively well. Specifically on LinkedIn, maybe on Twitter. So with a nano influencer, if you sell telecom solutions, go find small businesses, entrepreneurs on LinkedIn, and say, hey, we want you to come in, or we want you to join our webinar, or we want to send you some free gear, or we want to give you 3 months free. All you have to do is post about your experience on LinkedIn. That would be worth it. That would be great for a nano influencer strategy. Okay? So back to the topic, micro influencers versus nano influencers. You simply have to understand that micro influencers are going to cost more upfront, but they're probably going to get you results quicker if you pick the right ones. Nano influencers, very low cost to entry, almost no cost, probably just your product or your service and giving that to them for free, and you're going to have to do that with more nano influencers to get the same reach as you would with just a few micro influencers. They're both valuable. A strategy, if I were you, would be to test the waters with nano influencers, because it doesn't cost anything. And once you get a rhythm, start to build up your nano influencers, your army of people who love your products and services. Nano influencers, take the revenue that you start getting in from that and the reach and the case studies you get from that, then go find really great micro influencers to work with and continue your growth by paying them to get you off to the next level. Thanks everyone for watching this episode of Good Advice by Good Monster. Remember, subscribe to us on YouTube to get all of our videos, or if you love podcasts, head over to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you love your favorite podcasts, listening to podcasts, and subscribe there, because the audio of this goes into podcasts as well. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.